Hey guys, Pete here with GIS Solutions. Today I'm going to show you how to create a 3D map using QGIS. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so let's get started. So I have a blank QGIS project open, and the first thing I want to do is add a Google imagery basemap. What I'm going to do is navigate to my browser here, scroll down to XYZ tiles, and add Google satellite. And I'm just going to literally just drag and drop to my layers. Now if you don't have this browser window open, I'm just going to close this out. You just navigate to the top toolbar, go to View, Panel, and Browser. And it'll be right there. Now I'm going to just go ahead and navigate to a place called Mount Hood in Oregon. I take it back. What I'm going to do is actually add the hybrid, because this is going to help me with my navigation, and I'll just turn it off when I'm ready. So I was somewhat close, but here's Mount Hood. So I'll go ahead and center Mount Hood to my liking. And I'm just going to just remove this hybrid because I really don't need the labels here. So I'm just going to right click and remove layer and click OK. So there's a two-part process to this. The first, we're going to capture this image. The second, we're going to add the digital elevation model. So let's go ahead and just capture this image. And to do so, I'm going to navigate to the top toolbar and go to Project, New Print Layout, and the name could be pretty general. I'm just going to say Mount Hood. Click OK, and here is my print layout. And if I navigate to the left side and I click this tool for Add Map, I'll go and drag to the full extent my image. I'll go ahead and click onto this icon, Export as Image. I'm going to navigate to my project folder, and I'm going to save it as a TIFF. Click Save. The export resolution, I'm going to bump this all the way up to 700 dpi. And I'm also going to enable the Generate World file. And click on Save. It might take a moment, and my TIFF image is already saved. I'll go ahead and close out of this window. Don't need that anymore. The next thing we need to do is to add a plugin. If you don't have it already, I'll show you how to do it. But it's called Open Topography DEM Downloader. So let's navigate to the top toolbar, to Plugins, Manage and Install Plugins, and let's make sure we're on the All tab here, and go ahead and search for Open Topography. Maybe it's all one word here, Topography. Yeah, Open Topography DEM Downloader, and install. It was installed successfully, so let's go ahead and close out of that. And here is the icon for the Open Topography DEM Downloader. So let's go and click onto that. Within this window, we could select the DEM to download. SRTM 90 meters is the default. I'm going to select the 30 meter. To find the extent to download, there's a couple options. You could calculate from an existing layer that you have in your project, from the layout, or from a bookmark. You could draw it. I'm going to use the current map extent. So what we're seeing here, it's going to create that DEM for that area. This API key was already generated, and the output raster, we could go ahead and save that to our project folder. I'm going to say Mount Hood. DEM. And I will go and click on Run. And close the window when I'm done. So I have my DEM. If I scroll out a little bit, you can see it was just to that map extent. So let's go and double click onto the DEM. And if you're not on symbology already, go ahead and navigate to that. The render type, let's go ahead and click onto Hill Shade. Under layer rendering, you could play around with this. What the numbers I'm going to add here are just from trial and error. Let's go and do like negative 30 here, and there's really no right or wrong way. It's just what you feel is visually appealing. The zoom in, zoom out, nearest neighbor is the default. Bilinear seems to add a little more smoothness, I've noticed. Early resampling kind of helps out with the rendering. And I will click Apply and OK, and this is what it looks like. Of course, if you want to go back and change things a little bit more, say the contrast, you could just see how that changes there. But you just got to keep in mind, we're going to put aerial imagery right on top of this, so you don't want it too dark. Okay, so let's go and click OK. Now let's go and open the 3D map. So we navigate back up to the menu bar to View, 3D Maps and View, and let's click on New 3D Map View. And I'm just going to maximize this little window here. In the tool, Configure, I'm going to go to General is okay. I'm going to leave all those defaults. Terrain, you change that to DEM raster layer. And then under Elevation, we go ahead and select that layer. Vertical scale, that's how much it's being exaggerated. Found that like 2 is good. Again, we could circle back and you can see how that changes. Click OK, apply and OK, and it looks like I need to go back to my main map and put the satellite view right on top of that DEM. There we go. So maximize that once again. Now, what I'll do is hold down my Shift key and my left click on the mouse, and I'm just kind of moving the map around a little bit here. And I'm going to zoom in by scrolling. Now here is the 3D map for Mount Hood. Now circling back to that vertical scale, if I bumped it up to say 3, you'll see how it kind of extruded a lot more, or a little more exaggerated. So again, that's all just by preference. It was defaulted to 1, so you see how low that is. I found that like 2 was a pretty good representation just for this model. Also, you'll notice that the aerial imagery, it's not perfect, with this whole rendering. I did find that changing the whole background to black color kind of helps. And to do that, let's go and minimize the 3D map to go back to the main map. As you see, if I turn off the satellite imagery, we just have a white background. So to change this, let's go to Project, Properties, and under General, the background color, let's just change that to black. Okay, click OK, apply, and let's go and turn back on these layers. And we'll go back to our 3D map, and you see there's a black background, and these little breaks in the image are now black. That might be better. I don't know. It could look like a lake, but just play around with it. It's just an option.